Wow, Jake Paul claps at Canelo Alvarez. Get the out of here. I was born ready. Payday. You want payday, I know that. Jake Paul says he would eat Canelo alive. And Canelo cannot sell on the pay-per-view market anymore. We're going to talk about all that and more in this video. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. Listen, hit the subscribe button if you like my channel. If you like a video like this, what's in it for you? I drop daily boxing content, live streams, the latest and greatest in this beautiful sport, the sweet science, some UFC, and we get it cracking. So the best to do it, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Sharpshooter. Now, Jake Paul was obviously ringside. His brother just fought Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, you know, it wasn't scored or whatever, but I thought Floyd Mayweather beat him. Jake Paul claims that his brother won the fight. To me, at best, I think it's just a little bit of sibling. He's just giving credit to his sibling and, trying to keep the Paul brand alive. But anybody that watched the fight, I don't know anyone that thinks that Logan Paul won the fight. But you could say he won in the fact that he fought Floyd Mayweather, I guess went the distance or the decision. And at the heart of it, he's making a lot of money. And these are guys who start off on YouTube. He said, time for you to break the simulation tonight. This was, of course, this morning. Logan Paul, I'm beyond proud of you. It's your turn to show the world how we do things. Go get this W, and then we going crazy. So, again, I don't think he won. Floyd kind of pot-shotted. Logan was huge, so there was no stoppage. Logan was trying, but, he looked tired to me after the second round. And he kind of lost his form, wilted, he was holding and like clenching a lot. So, when a guy's in survival mode, it becomes harder to kind of get that victory, that knockout victory. But regarding the title of this video, Canelo Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez, I guess he's on a honeymoon, but I guess maybe he was watching this, and around the time the fight ended, he just put the shake in my head, face palming emoji. So I don't know, Canelo being cryptic, he didn't really say what it was. So I'm assuming he's just saying like the Mayweather and Logan Paul fight, like what is this, or it's a circus or whatever. That was his opinion on it. Leave it to Canelo to hate on Mayweather, a guy who beat him and outclassed him in 2013 when they fought. Now, obviously, let me see what the comments are saying. Let me read the comments. My exact thoughts. You lost to Floyd already. Exactly what I said. This is how I felt about you and Kovalev. Logan did better than you, so stop being jealous. Yeah. So anyway, it sounds like he's hating on the fight. Whatever. Jake Paul clapped back at him. And he going crazy. There's so many tweets. He said, gotcha ucking career. I don't know who that's to. Logan Paul 4 rounds to 2 going in the 7th. Yeah, I don't know about that. The other thing is, to me, when they were panning to Jake Paul, he looked kind of worried for his brother. He claims that Floyd Mayweather's 50-1, even though it's an exhibition. Holy uck, my brother just beat Floyd Mayweather. Cap. So Canelo did the face palm, and then here's the part about Canelo. So you guys can see that he said it. Jake Paul, verified page, he says, Canelo, you can't sell pay-per-views. I would eat you alive. Wow. You guys see it on the screen. So Canelo was disrespecting the event or, shaking my head, and Jake Paul felt a type of way about that. So he says, you can't sell pay-per-views. I would eat you alive. Now, the funny thing is this. I know Jake Paul gets a lot of hate, but what he's saying, there's some truth to it. You know what I mean? First of all, Canelo, he has been on DAZN. Now he's a free agent, but his last couple fights have been on DAZN even as a free agent. He fought Caleb Smith in December, and then he came back and fought against Avni Yildirim, a.k.a. Average Pilgrim, on DAZN, and then he just fought Billy Joe Saunders on DAZN. So love him or hate him. First of all, I got a couple things to say. The Paul brothers, love him or hate him, they're getting paid better than some combat fighters. That's for starters. And they're getting money elsewhere because they have the ability to sell and branding. And I told you guys, I come up on the YouTube platform and get more respect than people who cover boxing for big boxing. So digital mob, you got to understand, it's a whole new world. That's why new media was kind of created, just to the future of boxing, and boxing being covered in a digital space and market, and no longer having to rely on newspapers and biased magazines and websites and stuff. You know, we ran through that and we became that. So I actually like Jake Paul and Logan Paul, what they're doing, because it just shows and gives hope to the youth and people younger than them even, and shows you that this internet is huge and powerful, and you can kind of commandeer your life and make some things shake. You know, one brother just fought against Floyd Mayweather. The other one, Jake Paul, he's been fighting, getting a bag, and now he's about to fight Tyron Woodley on Showtime. He just did a new deal. So at the end of the day, you got to tip your hat off. They know how to get under people's skin, like talking bad to Canelo or back talking Canelo, saying this to Conor McGregor or whatever. So, you know, I got to give credit where credit's due. They know how to get a rise out of people, and the fans that like them, and then other people are annoyed with them, but it's still making you tune in. He said McGregor's ducking me, so he still want the McGregor smoke. He told Canelo that he would, what did he say? He would destroy him. So he's talking cash-ish, you know, and somebody got to stop him, beat him. We'll see if Tyron Woodley can do it, but he's saying he'll eat Canelo alive. Now, this whole little back and forth between them is long-standing. Make sure you smash the like button. Canelo Alvarez previously weighed in, and he weighed in on the whole YouTube lane of boxing. And you see it says Canelo Alvarez fires warning to YouTubers turned boxers. Jake and Logan Paul, as Mexicans say, as Mexicans says they could get ill if they continued in the ring. He criticized both brothers for showing a, quote, lack of respect to real fighters. So I heard Logan Paul already responded to this. He has like a little show, or he was on Twitch or something, and he responded to this, and he said F Canelo, because he says, I'm not disrespecting the sport. And then you could say he looked like he was in shape, he took it serious, and he went the distance with Floyd Mayweather. So even though it was 8 rounds versus 12 championship rounds, a YouTuber can say in the exhibition that he did what Canelo did, which was fight Floyd Mayweather, albeit different points of the career, different circumstances, but he can say he went the distance with him, just like Canelo could say that. And Canelo was saying this could get him killed. It's not a soccer game. It could get him killed, blah, blah, blah. And then he says that the brothers aren't really respecting the sport. So they obviously took offense to this, because he's questioning it and they're trying to make a livelihood. He says, why do they give licenses to people who in their life have never thrown a punch? If there's a MDK, the commission will be responsible. Why? Because they issued the license. I truly believe that it's a lack of respect. And this is an older quote from Canelo, right? Lack of respect. It's all based on money. It's all for money. Focus right now on other projects. I have a lot of other stuff going. I would invite the Paul brothers for sparring sessions so that he can truly know what it's all about. For true fighters, I do believe it's a lack of respect. So the Paul brothers and Canelo have not seen eye to eye. They got this whole little lane, and Canelo keeps saying that they're not taking it serious. And then right there you see Mayweather had an exhibition with him that just ended. We just did the Boxingego watch party. So boom. And this article was printed, or this came about, it says May 2021. I don't know about that. I thought it was a little bit before that, but this has been going on. You'll see some of the top stories. Jake Paul calls out Canelo Alvarez after Logan Paul goes 8 rounds with Floyd. Jake Paul goads Canelo Alvarez after Floyd Mayweather. So Sky Sports, you'll see. I told you they're making noise. YouTube, Google, front page, top stories. Jake Paul calls out Saul Canelo Alvarez after Logan Paul goes the distance with Floyd. Jake Paul challenged Canelo Alvarez moments after insisting his brother defeated Floyd Mayweather. And he says, you can't sell pay-per-views. I will eat you alive. Jake was ringside in Miami to watch Logan valiantly go 8 rounds with Mayweather legend. Mayweather's inability to knock out Logan drew a sarcastic social. I ain't listening to this writer. Listen, there's a lot of people hating on Floyd, bro. The man is like 50, 60 pounds bigger than him and was holding and tired. It is what it is, YouTuber or not. It's a 6'2" guy who's bigger than you and was leaning on him and clinching. Jake responded to Canelo, "You can't sell pay-per-views, as I mentioned. I would eat you alive." My brother just beat Floyd, blah, 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 which is what I just told you. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this develops and where this goes. I want to see, if Canelo responds to this, but some people will say that they're barking up the wrong tree by messing with Canelo. Canelo's at currently 168, fought as high as 175. Jake Paul, he looks like he's 190, 195. So we'll see what's next for this. Canelo's on his honeymoon, and he got a black eye. What is it? What fight is it? Okay, so that must be from the Billy Joe Saunders fight. Yeah, he got a little bit of a black eye. So we'll see if Canelo decides to respond again. But it is what it is. The fight happened. It's an exhibition. And, there's a lot of people criticizing Floyd and this and that, but I don't really want to hear it because you have Julio Cesar Chavez, who's from the same country as Canelo, Mexico. They're both from Mexico. And he's fighting on pay-per-view with his son. And he's fighting against Hector Camacho's son. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a guy who fought Canelo, he's out here fighting against a UFC retired fighter, Anderson Spider Silva. So obviously it's a lane. If some of these older fighters that are really retired choose to do this for money, then it's really none of Canelo's business. Canelo's still an active fighter. Pacquiao's still an active fighter. So of course they should be fighting on the biggest stages and the Errol Spences, and Canelo really should fight against Demetrius Andrade, the guys like Jermall Charlo, David Benavidez, Caleb Plant. So it is what it is. You got to be at the same spot in your career. If Canelo Alvarez was retired and he was 44 and he wanted farewell fights in Mexico, then people would accept it. So you got to accept it. And the last thing about Jake Paul and Logan Paul is they found a little niche. They found a niche and they stick it to it. So it is what it is. You either like it or you don't. But if you don't like it, there's nothing you can really do to stop it. If people, that's the great thing about commerce. When it comes to commerce, if people are willing to pay, then people will pay. Like, let's say you're a jeweler and you're giving people jewelry and Canelo doesn't like it, but everyone else loves your jewelry, then you're going to make money in that lane. You know what I'm saying? So I just encourage people to support what they like. If you love the channel, smash the like button. Use my link in the description to get TUBEBUDDY. And we're going to keep cooking. I'll keep delivering the hits. Jake Paul says he would eat Canelo alive. Do you agree with this statement? Use my link in the description to get TUBEBUDDY. It's an awesome way to level up your YouTube content and make money on this platform like yours truly. I've been using it for years. Use TUBEBUDDY. Click the link. We working.